TheOAMNetwork.com.
Power to the podcast.
Dear Millennials, a lit ass podcast.
Litty. Yeah.
Say hey to our special guest, y'all. Come on, beautiful baby.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dear Millennials, a lit ass podcast. We are at the live 5 episode.
Yeah.
Make sure you search Dear Millennials on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram at Dear Millennials _. Follow us on Twitter at The Millennials Pod. Search us on YouTube, Dear Millennials Podcast. Check us out on Apple, SoundCloud, Spotify. All right, all you gotta do is search Dear Millennials, y'all. For any booking, sponsorships, donations, or inquiries, make sure you email us at dearmillennialspodcast@gmail.com. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Marvin Frank, singer-songwriter, educator, student to the game, homie, lover, friend is all I wanna be. Hey.
Okay.
For y'all, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. He did play that child support though. I'm just kidding.
It's your boy McLovin, South Memphis stand-up. Got your girls hot straight out the oven. Educator, motivator, dark skin, drinking hen. Teacher, preacher, got you dying, laughing, calling me the Grand Reaper.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
I feel like every show you add something new.
Ain't nothing new. I ain't even... First of all,
to his left, he has
you sound
Mary
like a
Jane,
hater.
Georgia raised Memphis Pay, book club creator, the woman storyteller, and your favorite around the way girl.
I need
First of all,
around the way.
stop.
Hey.
Don't be trying
Mary
to...
Jane is what I need.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest. I told her I was gonna give her that Steve Harvey introduction. This is a young lady who, though we like the same age, I've always admired her from a distance, looked up to her. We went to school together. Shout out to Lane College, the greatest since 1882. She's always just been such a beautiful individual with such style and grace. But with that being said, y'all give a round of applause. Welcome, Kendra.
Yes,
Kenny
thank
Ken.
you.
What's
thank
up,
you,
Ken?
thank
Ken.
you.
She brought some friends with her too. You gotta let them know.
Peace and increase. I saw y'all introduction, so my name is Kendra.
Yeah.
The proud Gemini, food enthusiast, mindful thinking advocate, crystal loving badass.
Ooh. Oh, gotta give it that Rick Ross.
Yeah, just like that.
Baby, I'm
Rick
scared
Ross
of you.
attended Albany State University. Just a fun fact.
Wait,
for
you said
y'all.
what?
Rick Ross attended Albany State University.
Wait.
and
Really?
He played on the football team. He actually posted a picture with his jersey
Linebacker.
on.
Really?
Yeah, last
He must was in a
year.
calf. Oh,
And
yeah.
he attended our homecoming. Yeah, he probably was a calf one. But hey,
I did not know.
fried chicken Wednesdays, you know, I ain't
That's what's up.
Fried catfish Fridays.
Y'all had that?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
We had fried chicken Wednesday.
Yeah, we had.
Y'all had-
But we had boneless wings for lunch.
Y'all
What
didn't
about
have
the peach cobbler?
y'all didn't have catfish on Friday?
We did. We did.
Yeah.
We didn't have a special day named for it.
No, it was
I feel like
catfish
catfish
Friday.
is always on Friday.
Friday.
Just fish fry
with,
Friday.
with spaghetti.
It's like tradition.
I hated
Like
the beef
tradition.
Well, you
stroganoff
know what?
days.
Over here, y'all do eat fish with the spaghetti.
Over
we don't
here?
Do that.
What do you do?
Okay, I'm doing geographical area. Like
We still Southern
don't be
region,
so
boo. Don't
sensitive. So in Georgia, we don't really do fish with spaghetti.
Because y'all think spaghetti is the main dish when in actuality
It's a
spaghetti
side.
is
yeah,
a side.
okay, we have
It's
our
a side.
differences.
It's a
Let's
side.
keep it
But
moving.
we'll talk about that later, ladies and gentlemen. Follow-
Yo.
Make sure you all go to the debate on spaghetti being a side or a main dish on our Instagram page. That's
Atlanta
Dear
stand up.
Millennials _
Yeah. Yo, Dear Millennials, the Lit Ass Podcast. We're so happy to have special guest Kendra with us. She didn't mention this, but she is also the owner of Food Avenue Catering Service, and creator of Dinner Talks with Food Avenue. So she'll give her social media handles later, but I always want to support our young entrepreneurs out here. Yeah. All right, y'all. With that being said, this is episode live 5. All right, and this
We in there.
episode is entitled I brought you in this world and I'll take you
your
out.
ass out.
And find out why episode 5 is entitled that. But with no further ado, it's time to go into the 10 DM commandments. Things you got to live by in 2019.
All right, y'all. McLovin taking over for the 10 DM commandments. First thing first, and we will always make this first. Thou shalt not support Trump. Hell no. We don't do that shit.
Don't think about it.
2, thou shalt not use empty alcohol bottles as house decorum. No.
That's debatable.
Please,
This
no.
is debatable. I use wine glasses all the time.
Wine
Flowers.
glasses. We not talking about
I was
bottles.
gonna say
It's
I'm
alcohol.
guilty,
It's alcohol.
but
14%.
my bottles are empty. But I use them as my favorite, like
That is-
bottles that I've
No.
in my house.
Mary
Candle
Jane, we
holders.
was just.
and they're all black. So they're
Exactly.
like a
You can do
decoration.
stuff with it.
It's funny because you didn't want to be shouted out about what you do, but now
Well,
now
Put on
Somebody
blast.
that
Point
has
them
done
out.
it.
Point
So,
them out.
yeah.
Point
so
them out.
those who follow us on Instagram know that we was all together. What was that? Monday.
I don't think you called me out in that video.
I didn't call you out, but y'all knew we was kicking it Monday, and she had nothing but
They wouldn't know
wine
it was
bottles,
Monday.
empty
I
wine
only
bottles.
got 4 bottles.
It was like 5, and they was all
Yeah, it
in
was a
them.
lot.
4,
add
5,
one.
7.
Had them
down
all lined
different.
up.
She had them lined up, polished, she them shine it up, all that. Oh, anyway, all
Thank
right.
you.
Commandment 3. Fellas, thou shalt not allow the woman to pump thy gas.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Chivalry shouldn't be dead out
I was
here,
about
dog.
to say it's a lot of chivalry act.
Man, it's crazy, man. I know some people, man. You about to say
That's your
something?
girl out
I
there
was gonna
shivering.
say on the opposite side, women, we need to learn that we're supposed to open the other side of the door.
And that's real, because believe it or
Yes.
not, Mary
What you
Jane, Mary,
If a man opens your door, you're supposed to reach over and open his.
I
and
feel
that's
like
real.
that's an obligation.
no, that's real.
Really?
Because every
Yeah.
I
time,
do that.
Because every time Desiree get in my car and I drive for literally like 30 seconds to her car, she always open my door.
Aw.
It's a good gesture
yeah.
to know I'm
It's
thinking
supposed to-
about you
yeah.
too, but I don't.
It's okay.
What would the feminists say? I don't need a man to pump my gas.
I don't
It's
like
2009.
how- I don't
I'm
like
just
how
kidding.
you
Not
introduced
feminist. I know
it.
that, I
Right.
generalized there. That wasn't fair. Feminists, I love you.
Like,
Hate
But
mail,
that is
hate
something
mail.
that I
I'm
do
just
stand
playing.
by.
I'm just playing.
All right, number 4. Thou shalt Russell Westbrook any motherfucker trying to step.
Hey,
That's
I don't know if y'all know. So Russell Westbrook, superstar NBA player, plays for the Oklahoma Thunder. All right, basically these fans got beside themselves. It was a husband and wife. They were white, unfortunately. So they said to Russell Westbrook, "Hey, get back on your knees like you're used to." All right, and and then the wife added to that. She backed up her husband, said the same thing. So Russell Westbrook was like, "Hey man, fuck you. I'll fuck you up and I'll fuck your wife up."
Hey,
And
real talk.
he's receiving all this criticism for it. But he's challenging the NBA to have really strict rules and just hold the fans accountable because that's not
Definitely.
appropriate.
it's not. It's
Did
not.
he get fined for it?
That I
probably
don't
did.
think it's been released yet.
He probably did. He did get fined. He did.
Yeah, I can see that happen.
Because even as a player, regardless if they disrespect you, entertainment, you
But
have
that's
to.
the thing. They expect players to have such what am I trying to say? Just such a level head
Yeah.
when people are disrespecting
Yeah.
them, but it's really not
Part of entertainment.
realistic.
Yeah.
It's part of entertainment.
And being human is a part of reacting.
Absolutely. All right. Commandment number 5. Thou shalt not reveal thyself if you are the pooter perpetrator.
Who the perpetrator? Y'all. So y'all already know what's up. You in a crowd full of people, right? So let's say one of the 4 of us, somebody pass gas, somebody poop, somebody fart. You are not to reveal yourself.
No.
You let the crowd wonder. You let the audience, I mean, not the audience, you let the crowd, you let the group wonder.
Yeah. And even then, you just keep denying that it was you.
You know
okay.
what I mean, man.
Or you just
So-
point the blame.
What I
I was gonna
do,
say, or
and
blame
that's-
it on someone
so
else.
I'm an educator,
I feel
and
like this way.
I'm an
All
educator.
3 of us
Right.
have done this shit before.
So I always blame my students for the
bad ones,
The
too.
bad it is. I hold it just for that motherfucker right there.
Oh wow.
And then when I do it, then I'm like, oh, you
Premeditated.
did that shit. And then everybody come in with me and be like, yeah, you did. And then I'm like, mission accomplished. Damn right.
Pooh Nat.
Oh, I have a
Commandment number
memory of
That's
6.
like a diabolical plan right there.
It is. Yeah.
Number 6, thou shalt make 50 off of
3.5, and that's what's up. Hey,
Say
shout out to
what's up,
Gotti.
Yeah, absolutely.
And especially with the potential of marijuana being legalized here in America. So small business owners, right, independent
Be on the lookout.
entrepreneurs, right, you'll be able to profit hopefully off of selling a dime bag.
give me
A little sawbuck.
Busting a couple
Give me 40 to
heads.
45.
Yeah,
Number 7, thou shalt think for thyself.
I like that.
Amen.
Man, we got so many people that just think the same way just because of social media, because of their partner thinking this way. Man, just have an own sound mind, man. Be your own person. You know what I mean?
Develop your own opinion. Do your research. You hear a rumor.
Always.
It might be true sometimes, right? R. Kelly may have been really,
And that,
recording and
Oh,
there's
shit.
no
Here
way.
come Mary Jane.
But I'm saying, do your own research, form
Right.
your own opinion. Don't always believe the hype. Do your own research. That's all I'm saying.
That's real. Believe half of what you, what they say, believe half of what you see and none of what you hear.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just do your own research. Number 8, thou shalt stop lying. Can I get the line song, please?
Why you always lying? Hey, and that's LYON, Jesse Smollett with your lying ass, indicted on 16. Was it 16?
What were the
16.
like top?
So let
three?
me tell you,
That's excessive.
it is excessive.
Jamal
And-
Lyon, by the way.
I'm
and-
actually more worried about Empire. I like that show.
Well, I'm still on the
Really?
fence of thinking that maybe he wasn't lying.
you know,
what I'm
and I
saying?
thought about this. Actually, I've been holding my tongue with this situation until everything comes. because
Yeah,
you
man.
never know. Like,
man,
it's a lot.
people set people
And
up
it's
all
random
the
as
time, man.
hell.
So, anyway, commandment number 9: thou shalt level up and get some dope ass mentors.
Man, what you
Oh
said.
my
Shout out to
God,
Chance the
yes.
Rapper. You know what I'm
Gotta
saying?
read, yeah.
I do need some
Did y'all see the post? So Chance posted, he got married recently, and he posted like a picture with Dave Chappelle, his dad, Kanye, and Kirk Franklin, and he identified them as their mentors,
That's
man.
what's up.
So for me, it definitely
That's what's up.
affirmed.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
And since
What's up?
we talking about Chance, man, I'm just waiting on you to sign the good music, man. We already know you Kanye's prodigy.
your breath.
I don't
And,
know. That might defeat his whole platform.
It will.
And the
It
purpose
will.
of being
So yeah.
independent.
So don't get me wrong, but it doesn't matter because Kanye is going to produce the next album for Chance, the 7 songs that he got. So I'm looking forward to that. We still love Kanye.
Song trend that's going on.
You said what?
The 7 songs.
It's
trend.
it's
Everybody's
completion.
dropping,
It's
like,
a
mixtapes.
Because people's attention span is short. I think that's the real reason.
And I
Nobody's
do
listening to
think they should
17
focus
track
on the
albums
top
anymore.
songs.
Right.
That is
Yeah.
true.
And on top of that, everybody from who we talking about, Kanye to
Bruno Mars
Tiana
did it.
Taylor, and everybody. So it started with the
Beyonce
good music.
did do it, 'cause I was like, why
the
is
good-
this album so short?
And
Yeah.
every single one was a banger.
Yeah, it started with the good music
Right.
record label. They started off with
She
7.
had about
Oh,
two
really?
that I liked.
Taylor.
Good music.
I could
Yeah.
pass on that entire.
Wait, hold on. My bad. I was talking
gonna
over
say
you.
she had about 3 that I
I
actually
can actually
really
pass on that.
Yeah, well, it's crazy because that wasn't the album that she had. Talking about the 7-song one.
Yeah.
That wasn't. Those 7 songs wasn't supposed to be the one that she was supposed to produce.
Really?
So it was a mishap, but it's cool. All right, back to 10. Thou shalt let the homie know if their significant other is cheating on them.
Woo.
That's a tough one, dog.
It is.
Nah, it ain't a tough one, man. If you my partner
Yeah.
and I see your girl out,
Yeah.
man, it's my obligation to spring on that nigga. Real talk, right
Well,
then and there.
hold on. Oh, but what if your partner is cheating on
No,
old
man.
girl?
At the end
If
of the
he
day,
ain't- if
no.
he ain't shit.
At the end of the day, man,
Yeah.
my loyalty is a perfect example. Shout out to my line brother, Sean Calhoun Jr., my Ace Club, man. I was dating this chick, and we broke up, but nobody didn't know about it. So my line brother, Sean, saw her walking down Greek Road with him. And all I know is he jacked the dude up and was like, "Hey man, this is my line brother girl, man.
Uh-huh.
I mean my line brother gal. You know what I'm saying?" And, and yeah, he
And
called me
that's
up.
so
and was just
true.
like, yeah, so that's real.
I got a question.
Line of
What about
loyalty.
for the people who their spouse, or not spouse, significant other has been constantly cheating on them? Do you still tell them that this person is cheating on you again?
If it's more than one offense.
Yeah.
So you do your
or-
job and tell them the first time. Now it's
But
up
I'm
to
saying
them.
this is
I agree.
consistent.
So it's up to them. I'm like, look, bro, you already know your girl ain't shit, or girl, you
So
already
why
know your
should I say anything?
Right, you already know this motherfucker cheating.
Because
feel
at
like
the end of
we're-
the day, if I tell you, you still gonna you probably gonna get upset with me for delivering the message.
Yeah, but with women, that's a tricky situation because for one, you cannot tell a woman about her man. Period. That's all.
Period.
With a T?
Yes, with a T. And then it's like morally, yes, you want to
Morally,
tell,
yes,
but
ma'am.
realistically, if you know that that's only gonna cause drama or she's
More
gonna
drama,
stay,
and you're gonna be involved.
maybe I need to just
Keep
say
my
my
mouth
breath.
closed.
Yeah,
It's all
mind
about
the
intent.
business that pays me.
If your heart is in the right place,
Yeah,
it's cool.
sometimes your heart is
I've
in the right
learned.
place, and
I've
I've learned
learned
too.
to-
That's exactly what
What
I'm
she talking
talking
to
about.
stay in my lane.
That's exact.
I'm just saying, make sure you talking to me.
Hey man,
Well,
let's go.
damn, Marvin.
With those out 10
Man, why
DM.
Why you being like that?
Same way DeMarcus laughing. We here. Keep going.
Okay, well, first of all, remember that time. Look, and I know
No,
we ain't gonna
that's
take.
okay, keep
No,
going.
you remember that time you let me go with giving
Right,
the wrong
first
social
episode,
media.
first
No,
info?
episode.
I corrected you at the end, and I subliminally corrected you.
Mary
It's
Jane,
okay, keep
Sister
going.
Boo, I
Well,
love you. I
well-
didn't mean no. I
well,
was just
it doesn't-
I know you did.
I want the people to hear you.
Well, it doesn't matter, man. That was our 10 DM commandments.
Who she mad
Ladies
at
and
me,
gentlemen, now we gonna turn it
I
over
ain't that
to
mad.
Give me a
I
hug.
ain't that
Give me
mad.
a hug.
to Boo Bear.
Come on, ladies. Don't give me no side hug. I need a real.
Give me a hug so I can go to this quickie. That wasn't even no real
I know,
hug, but you
because
get
we
on-
bump heads with our
All right,
headphones.
so
All
we
right.
got your quickies today, and of course I'm filling in for OPP.
But can we make sure that we give the quickie sound?
Okay. You used
One,
to do
okay.
that.
All right, y'all. So now it's time for quickies. Can I get a real sexy, sensual, erotic 1, 2, 3?
Yeah, right there. Throw that ass right there. Yeah, damn.
Damn.
All right, let's
Right
hop
there.
on in this quickie so we can jump right back out. So congratulations to Chance the Rapper marrying his longtime girlfriend, Kristen Corley, at the
what I'm
resort
talking
at Pelican Hill and Newport Beach, California. So, I think it's so beautiful how they met. Chance shared his story on Twitter about a week ago. They met when they were about 10. And
Wow.
apparently he just knew he was going to marry her.
Yeah, that's
Like, he just knew from the first sight, the first encounter, when he first met her. He even posted a picture of that. So how many of y'all can really say that y'all knew instantly the woman that you felt you were going to marry, or have ever felt that emotion that Chance has felt? How many of y'all can say that? And I can't answer that question because,
You know
I'm
what?
fooled every single time.
I definitely feel like I can say something on the lines of that. It's like once you meet a person who like literally speaks to your nature, something in you just resonates and it hits you. So maybe you don't always have to think like, oh, I'm gonna marry this person, but you like, yeah, they're it.
I think my nature is just screwed up then. Okay.
But it's all somebody will like it though.
well, as they say, you know. And one thing I love,
for
as he
real.
was like sharing his, he was like selling T-shirts at his first like concert,
love
the
it.
first tour.
She
love
hustling
So,
for Bay.
and I'll tell you what I love even more. I know we got to move on. Like, there's no secret. She's received a lot of criticism and just like jerk offs being jerks.
Yeah,
And
hating,
like,
hating.
hating on real love and trying to, like clown on her appearance and shit like that. Well, she's a beautiful woman. And so what I love is how like Chance has been unapologetic about loving her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I like shout out to Chance, Lil Channel 79.
I love it.
Yes,
I love
sir.
it.
All right, and next up, as you all may have heard by now, a fan-made Fresh Prince of Bel-Air trailer recently broke the internet and had everyone believing Netflix was on to something. So I actually
Right.
thought that we were about to have this new Netflix movie.
You remember I walked in here.
Wait,
that?
so it's not on Netflix?
So let me finish the story. So I want to go ahead and apologize to all of you who thought we were getting a Fresh Prince revival. Honestly, I don't think it's a bad idea, but Netflix hasn't responded to any of our pleas for them to pick it up. So, I mean, it was a fan-made trailer.
Okay.
Right, because you
That's
remember I
right.
walked in the
Yeah.
house and I was like, y'all see?
And you had me all hyped up too.
Hey, was the trailer fire though?
But you know what? The New Edition story started like that. It was
Yup,
it
it was
was
just
kind of
a
like a
fan base.
director, and then he kind of like made this out for a story, and then somebody picked it up. Now I will say this, and I didn't see it in the preview. I think it looks dope, but if that shit does not have the scene when with Will and his dad
and Uncle Phil
Doc, throw the whole movie away.
Yeah, we
don't need it.
You gotta have it.
You know, I'm a little curious to why you guys resonate with that.
That was a
scene,
very
so-
sentimental piece where, you know, Uncle Phil been there since day one, you know, when he moved to Bel Air. And when when Will's dad came into town, Will had a more sense of, fuck Uncle Phil, let me go kick it with my daddy. So now Dad is about to leave
That was
unexpectedly,
sad.
I'm about to cry.
and Will thought that he was gonna go with him. And guess who was there to comfort him?
Uncle Phil.
Uncle Phil.
Even though Uncle Phil has been so hard on him.
But he had to.
And
Remember,
that's love.
Yeah.
Mind you, he
Yeah.
grew up, you know what I'm saying?
Without a father figure.
Yeah.
Grew up in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Had a total culture shock. He had to adapt to this whole new way of life. He was struggling with, man, do I stay real to who I am, this West Philadelphia kid, or do I conform to this
Rich
dream,
boy. Yeah.
this fantasy that the people I grew up with couldn't even fathom. You know what I'm saying? So, but that scene was so emotional. But like I said, I feel like if that scene is not in the movie, I don't want to see it, bro.
Well,
But it did look dope. And shout out to whoever created it.
in closing, Chance is married to the woman of his dreams, his soulmate. And we don't have our Fresh Prince of Bel-Air movie just yet, but hopefully Netflix picks it up. And that's all for the quickie. Thank
you,
y'all.
Mary Jane, filling in for OPP. She was in Wakanda and she out here giving presentations and seminars. We miss you, OPP. Now it is time for Hood Code with McLovin.
Hello there.
Hello.
It is I, the priest McLovin, giving you all the hood code. Let us all grab our hood Bibles at this moment and let us turn to Thy Ain't Hood, chapter 3.
You said thy ain't hood?
Thy Ain't Hood, chapter 3, verse 7. When you have it, say, yeah, my nig.
Yeah, my nig. I guess I'm the only one.
Still waiting on two.
Yeah, my nigga.
Yeah, my nigga.
All right. Thou are not hood if you don't have the following: liquor stores beside churches, shoes on light poles,
Oh, wow.
a pimp turned pastor,
Delivered.
a homeless man always asking to wash your car for a beer, and a corner store that sells everything but groceries. Ladies and gentlemen, it is I, McLovin, giving you the hood codes of the streets. Hope you motherfuckers have a nice day.
Oh, wow.
Shout out to McLovin, always keeping us abreast of what you need to know in the hood. You keep dropping
But
that damn.
that's real though.
End the video.
That's real though. Hoods do not have grocery stores. If y'all ever noticed,
That's
They
true.
don't. They don't.
well, socioeconomic
Food
area.
deserts. That's why they're identified as food deserts.
And it's a trap. It's the man trying
He's so woke.
Man, I be trying not to be this
Keep
woke.
going. No, I want you to keep going.
But that's society. It's crazy how hoods do not have grocery stores where they are able to gather fresh produce.
Yeah, that's right.
That's true.
You know, we don't have a Kroger in South Memphis. You know,
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
When there was a Kroger in South Memphis,
and that
off third. What is that?
That's like damn near Horn Lake.
Okay. Well, no, that was third. No, that was okay.
Yeah, right there off 3rd Street.
Okay, so Third Street's still in the hood.
But still, we got 3rd Street. Mind you how big South Memphis is. So
Yeah.
you're telling that's the only, and you gotta also remember people in the hood don't got cars.
Yeah.
So how can we have to travel so far just to get fresh produce?
Yeah.
And even then, they're expensive.
You know, it's crazy that you mentioned that because in Atlanta, in most areas, we have a Kroger, but we don't have a Publix. And many of you all do not know about Publix.
I love
We know what
Yeah.
Publix
They
is.
have some really good Philly chicken steaks.
Man, they have the best deli sandwich.
Just
Sandwiches that there is. But, like, you would see the areas that have a Kroger, And that's why, like, I don't necessarily look down on Kroger, but in Memphis it was hard for me to adapt because I didn't really shop at Kroger like that because I like gravitated towards a Publix.
What Publix is what Kroger is trying to do for Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
Like the one in Carterville, they have like a whole deli.
I love Kroger now though, living in Memphis.
But
I don't know about in Georgia, but I love it here in Memphis.
Give me time. And then Aldi too.
I do. I love Aldi.
Definitely affordable. And I just wanted to add, I know we got to move on. But McLovin, the reason I mentioned that Kroger off 3rd Street is because that one sold malt liquor in 40 ounces. And you won't find that at any Kroger in any subdivision.
But you know what they also don't sell?
What?
Seafood. They didn't sell seafood in that Kroger.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. And it's crazy because Kroger only sells certain things depending on what area you live in. Mind you, for those who don't know, I used to be a manager, a store manager at Kroger.
Yeah.
Well, fuck Kroger.
But if you're willing to sponsor,
Me too. My bad.
Well, that's like the only grocery store I have. What do you mean?
All right, y'all.
I love Kroger. I steal from there.
Hey man, don't incriminate yourself, bro.
Right?
Ain't got no cameras.
All right, y'all. So that was Hood Code turned into an awareness segment on food deserts, specifically in Memphis and the southern region of America. All right, y'all. So I know this is. All right. So next up we got the Love Doctor segment. My question: do we need to move forward to the topic today?
No, don't give it this.
All right.
We have.
Okay. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're seeking relationship advice, you need some feedback. You want an unbiased opinion. Jesus, hold on, let me lick my lips. Get my word.
Lick them lips.
So, if you would like an unbiased opinion, perspective on whatever it is that you're going through, make sure you reach out to the Love Doctor and the Dear Millennials crew at dearmillennialspodcast@gmail.com. Mary Jane, who's the anonymous sender today?
All right, so she says, Dear Millennials, I need help. I am dating this guy that I really love. We spent so much time together and we've been really happy. He has spoiled me and really has treated me like a queen. However, I don't know if he is really out of his hoe phase. I feel like he needs attention and validation from other women to feel good about himself. He is constantly texting and entertaining other women. It's like as soon as I'm away, he has to talk to someone else or slide in a DM. He texts women and tells them that they are his friends, but I found out that wasn't true. I've caught him doing this, and when we've argued about this a few times, he says he's going to stop, but I don't really believe him. I love him, and I do believe he loves me. I don't really think he's ready to be fully committed, no matter how much I compliment him, support him, encourage him, and show him love. I'm starting to feel like this isn't worth it. Millennial friends, what should I do?
Roll Tide.
Run, Forrest, run. Alright.
Let him find out who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like he's trying to fill a void.
So let me say this. I feel like things can be taken in a different situation. I feel like, because we also have to understand that there's two sides to a coin. There's two sides to a story.
Always.
So we also have to understand there's a reason why people do the things that they do. And as a man, speaking from a man's perspective, are you doing everything that it takes for you all to truly enjoy this relationship? You know, could we can be lacking? We can be slacking sometimes, you know, in a relationship. Mm-hmm. And what is it that you're doing that possibly could have him to entertain other people? You know what I mean? So
I get that, but I feel like it's so many different factors to this. One, you have to factor in sometimes.
She laughing.
Oh, sorry. People just love attention in this day and age, and they don't like just getting it from one source. I'm like, yeah, I like you, you know, we got what we going. And she tell me
that I'm this too.
That's that thing called multi-dating. We keep turning back to.
So you definitely have to be mindful of, is one source enough kind of thing. And then two, you really gotta have that conversation. Like, what are you looking for?
What I think about that is, y'all know the song "Middle Child," right? J. Cole.
Love that song.
You know, so a lot of things come in, and I look at that song, and if y'all seen the video, a lot of things plays a role. As a middle child, and me speaking from a middle child in the sense of my father side of the family, I'm a middle child. I didn't get the attention that I needed from my dad or from my family. So when growing up, you know, I've always had to force and grasp attention from other people because it wasn't naturally given to me.
See, I'm the baby.
So you all, and I guarantee you get all the attention.
So much attention, I'm like,
exactly. So being a middle child, and I'm just a reference, you know, maybe she's not giving him enough attention that he deserves.
Okay, this is where I'm about to interrupt, because now you done said about two things that were a trigger, and they fall under the same umbrella. This woman is not giving him the attention that he needs. For one, I'm concerned about why he has to communicate with multiple women if I'm assuming they're together. Why does he have to communicate with multiple women? And another thing I'm concerned about that I noticed that a lot of guys do is, why are you settling with this woman that is not who you deserve, quote unquote, from your own words, when you can just let her know, like, look, we're not a good match, I'm about to move on. That's as simple as it can get.
Or maybe they are a good match, and Mara, I know you want to jump in.
Wait, but you just said that you didn't deserve her.
Yeah, wait. So sometimes, and I don't know this thing. Maybe this is an early stage of dating, but at the end of the day, you will never know everything about a person. And because
never until they volunteer it.
So
we talk.
And that's where communication comes in. Hey, look, what am I doing? What am I lacking? What can I do better in order for this relationship to go right? So understand that maybe it needs a little bit more communication between them two to understand, like, how can we make this work? Because we understand we got a honeymoon stage. And during that honeymoon stage, everything is good. Everything is lovely. You know, oh my God, this girl is amazing. This man is amazing. But then after that honeymoon phase, then that's when you have to learn that person. It's like a new car smell. The car rides good for right now, but damn, you still gotta understand you gotta need a tune-up. You need and you might got a limit, and you gotta fix it up.
But that's where you have to ask somebody, like, what is enough for you? Because some people are just so greedy that they don't really even have an endpoint. They just always want, just because of the society we're in. So, like, what do you really want?
Let me add to that. I think one thing that this young lady has not acknowledged is that I think it's clear she doesn't know his love language. I think
that's something that everybody should get involved in.
Yeah, she specifically said no matter how much I compliment him, support him, encourage him, show him love, right? I think there's an assumption on her end that words of affirmation is his love language, and that may not be it. And I'm you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm a Pisces. I don't know if this is true of all Pisces, but he reminds me a lot of myself at a certain time in my life, not specifically now, but what I see him doing, he's sincere in the moment. For example, right? She says he has spoiled me and treated me like a queen. So in that moment, in the moments that they were together, he has done all of these things. However, once he's not around her, his actions contradict, you know, that treating her of like a queen or giving her the attention that she needs. So I think that, you know, Miss Lady, I think you need to recognize the signs, and I don't think you should expect anything to change. He's showing you who he is. He is showing you, if he's seeking, obviously what you are doing is not enough, and that's not a reflection of you. That's something that he may be battling internally, and he needs to figure out, all right, what do I want? You know what I'm saying? What is it that I'm looking for?
I would like to.
Out this damn phone.
I need a mount. But I think that I think that we should all go ahead and wrap this up in closing with our final thoughts. Yeah. And as I contribute my final thought, I think that this situation calls for you all need to have a come to Jesus moment, for lack of better words. Y'all need to talk about what he needs, what you need. All right, you need to understand where he's coming from and the way he acts, and he needs to understand where you're coming from and the way that you act. And you need to let him know what your expectations are and what you need from him at the end of the day. Because if he's entertaining all these women and you're not comfortable with it, you need to let him know that if he does not change his act, because this is what you need to be done for you to feel secure and comfortable with this situationship that you all have. And yes, I'm calling it situationship because I don't know what the fuck it is. All right. You need to keep it moving. All right, because it sounds like he is trying to play all sides, and men can't do that when they are really interested.
Y'all be so beating up on men, bro. It's so
one of our fans said that they told me to stop beating up on men. But you know what? We live in this world where all y'all do, and all y'all have to do. Let me finish. Y'all come into us. Y'all got
stereotypes.
Men. Okay, men, y'all come into our presence. You got this woman that gives you all types of love, and y'all screw her over.
So let's understand.
So yeah,
going back to right.
I'm trying to console.
Can I do a little violin?
But listen, with that being said, you have to it's a fine line between beating the man up and just holding him accountable.
Exactly. Thank you. They don't. They run from that, and they so sensitive.
Yes.
So,
but go ahead. No, you go, because then we gotta wrap up. Go ahead.
So, with the situation, anonymous woman, what I would say is communication has to be there.
Definitely. It's the foundation.
Also, don't expect things to change after y'all have the conversation. I'm a firm believer that there's a process. And nobody changes right then and there what you say. So
it has to be a strategy.
It has to be a strategy. It has to be a plan. So don't expect somebody to quit smoking right then and there.
That's true.
Give that man some time. If you really love him, and if he really loves you, and this relationship is worth it,
man, that hits the soul.
Then you have to be patient. I think a lot of people, this generation, we were not patient. If it ain't, it's like taxes. If I need it now. It's my money, and I want it now.
I want it now.
Title Max. I thought it was Title Max. Two different commercials.
So y'all ain't get leaked.
Nah, man, and just to wrap it up, McLovin, you touched on it, man. I think at the end of the day, Mr. Anonymous, you have to decide when. Do you have expectations? Are you willing to meet your standards or his? Right? He's treating you like a queen, blase, blase. However, when you're not around, right, he out here in these streets. Alright? And he's doing his thing. So recognize his love language, and you ask, what should you do? Personally, I feel that you should, if he's not ready to commit, and that's something that you're looking to do, you should not settle for a non-commitment or a situationship if that is not what you want.
I'm going to ask you that real quick. Actions speak louder than words. If he's saying this, but his actions are one thing, go with his actions.
Yeah.
Go with the actions, please. It may hurt,
my thing is,
but that's your best interest.
My thing is, we close, I promise you. How does she know that the girls that he friends with are not just friends? That also comes in the sign of insecurity. So now we're looking at somebody who is possibly either snooping.
I'm a snoop.
But my thing is this. Nah, man, I'm never for snooping, regardless. I mean, if I feel like I have to snoop, then I don't need to be with you.
And Kendra, and I know, y'all, we got some, and we got to go on to the top. But like you said, the man needs to holding the man accountable. Ladies, hold yourself accountable in terms of what you expect, what your standards are.
True.
What is that? So also, she needs to hold herself accountable. But y'all, we can do this all day. All right, y'all. Dear Millennials, the Little Ass Podcast. Yo, if you are interested, if you follow us on Instagram or any of our social media outlets, We've been promoting our t-shirts. All you have to do is DM us and we will forward you a order form. But yeah, live 5 episode, Dear Millennials, a Lit Ass Podcast, special guest Kendra. Today's topic, I brought you in this world and I'll take you out.
I'll take you
out. So, ladies and gentlemen, today, like, the meat of the conversation is basically, do we view black children's behavior and expectation from a white supremacy point of view? Was Kanye that far out when he said 400 years a slave sounds like a choice?
So before we jump into that, let me just say that, and I understand what Kanye meant. I think a lot of people took what he said and tried to twist it around.
Yeah.
We have to understand that we have choice. In life, we make choices.
We do, yeah.
And because we make choices, we either decide to be in slavery or we do what Desmond Tutu did and revolt. Or we do what other people did and revolt. So I think people don't understand that that's what he was getting at. It was a choice, and this topic will help you all, because I understand what Yeezy was saying. Help you all understand what he was talking about.
And so with that being said, right, I brought you in this world and I'll take you out. So we'll be remiss. Alright, everybody, I know a little impromptu. So name your fondest memory of getting your ass whooped. Specifically by your parents.
I'm going to start because I always talk about this and my daddy has not heard this from my perspective yet. But my fondest memory, because I was so hurt by it.
It's the fondest.
Yeah. Because I was so hurt. No. The one, because I had plenty, I had more that was worse than this.
Wow, really?
But I was at our old house in Stone Mountain, right? And I don't know why I was upset with my mom and my dad, but we had some type of disagreement and I ran to my room. And I know exactly when my dad came in there and beat my ass. But I was so upset that I went into the closet. That's when we had in that house, we had the closet that just pulled open like this. We had no walk-in closet.
With the mirror?
Not with the mirror, but with it was the wood. And you just pulled it open. Yep. Okay. And I pulled it open. I sat in between it because it was wide. And I just started kicking on it because I was upset. Throwing a little 10-year-old temper tantrum. My daddy came in there, bop, 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 bop. Man, he tore my butt up. And I think it really was my fondest moment because it was just like, I don't think I've ever remembered my dad like being upset with me on that level. It didn't hurt me.
Yeah.
And I knew that I went into the room to throw a temper tantrum in my own peace. But in my own peace, I'm thinking I'm about to be upset in my own little space. But because I am destroying a piece of furniture that y'all paid for, I understand why you whooped my ass.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
McLovin, what happened?
Man, before I go into that, have you ever got whooped so bad that you pray to God like he do something to your mama? Man, I got beat my mama so bad, like, Lord, please, stay out of the world. Man, my worst memory was I was at Hamilton Middle School, 8th grade.
Oh, okay.
And all I knew was, so report cards came out. And, teachers make mistakes on report cards.
They do.
So for those who don't know me, man, know that I was a genius. I made all A's, but I always had horrible conduct. Like, I've never received principal lists. I've always had all A's, straight N's, straight U's.
Oh, wow.
So this time, I was like, you know what? I'm tired of seeing all these N's and U's on report cards. Let me just change a couple of them. Not all of them, because it'd just be too suspicious. So I crossed them out and I put S.
When they were written in pen.
Right. So it was S, it was across S, and I had a U.
Would that mean satisfactory?
Right. So I had an S-U-N-S-U-N. They're like son. So I changed my U from French class, and I changed my U from math class into S's. And on the bottom of my report card said, hey, call me if you wondering about these mistakes. So all I know is my mama ended up coming to the school.
You wrote that?
Yeah. To make it believable, man.
I bet your handwriting looked like yours, and that's why.
Yeah.
Penmanship is terrible.
So you should have had one of your friends do it.
So my older brother got suspended.
I was the plagiarizer queen.
So my older brother got suspended, and my mom had to check him in school. So she was like, you know what? Let me go check on Marcus. So I'm sitting down in science class. All I know is someone ran into the class and said, "Man, your mama down the hall." I'm like, "What?" We had a substitute sign. So I walked to the front door. My mama came through the door before I gave a touch.
I hope she gave
said,
your ass whooping.
"Sit your black ass down."
Oh
my mama dark skin, so she had these bright red lipstick on. Everybody in the class would start laughing. She looked at them and everybody stopped.
Yes,
My
mama!
mama grabbed me and said, "You lied to me."
Ooh,
My
I
mama
feel
had
that.
this nice cheap purse on, pulled out an orange stitching cord.
Yes, ma'am!
The orange ones are the thick ones.
Yes, sir.
Boy, when I mean my mama whooped
Yes.
cat raggedy in front of the class.
To the white man.
Yeah. Do that.
And nobody in my class was laughing because my mom was looking at them while she was whooping me. Like they knew, because my mom was like, "Your ass is next to you."
Yes,
wow.
ma'am.
Yeah. And ever since that
I
day,
know I love
that would
Nadine.
change.
Mama Nadine.
Shout out to Nadine Little. I love you.
You were bold for that anyway. Alright,
Yeah, he was
what we
stupid
had?
for that.
Mary Jane McLovin,
I'm also a
Kendra.
little embarrassed to say mine.
That's all. Yo,
Yeah.
keep it 100. Keep it 1,000.
Well, alright, so I was about 13. You know how we go through our boy crazy phase. But the thing about this is, I was just an accessory to the crime. So back then, alright, I'm 13. My friend asked me to come over because she was inviting a guy over, and she said she didn't want to be over there alone. So I'm like, alright, whatever, I'm gonna come over there. So she took the guy upstairs, did her thing, kind of performed fellatio on him.
Oh, at 13?
At 13. Alright, I'm just downstairs on the couch chilling, minding my own
A
business.
fiend.
So, but she told me she felt afterwards. She told me she felt guilty and was gonna tell her dad. And I said, no, do not do that. Do not do that. But she told her dad anyway. And her dad told my dad that I was there and that I didn't say anything.
Whoa.
So this is the first and only time that I ever got a whooping by my dad. And it fucking changed my life.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't do nothing. But he like, you was there, you was guilty, and all I know, you could be thinking the same thing. So he whipped my ass. Mm-hmm. He beat the soul out of me. And long story short, my boy crazy phase ended there.
Dang, I wish I would have had that beat out of me.
I was like, I don't even want to do nothing. I'm not thinking
That
about
don't mean I'm
nothing.
fast.
I'm like, but yeah, I was guilty just for being there. And yeah.
I showed you hate those accessory whippings.
Yeah, I was guilty by association there.
Alright, y'all. Well, we gotta keep it moving, so I might not even mention mine.
Oh, no.
You know what? I'm gonna mention it real quick. Mama, and to this day, I love you, but you were wrong for this. So, I'm sitting there watching TV in my mama's bed. I don't know what I was watching. Maybe it was American Idol. I don't remember. But anyway, I was watching TV. So, my mom allegedly was calling my name and saying, "Marvin, it's time to go to bed." Right? Yeah. And I did not hear her say that. I was so I had to be glued into the TV. Mm-hmm. I didn't hear her.
Sounds right.
And she was like, "Marvin, did you not hear what I said?" I said, "Huh?" And so I'm like oblivious to everything. Yeah. And so she accuses me. Yeah, Mama, I said accuse me because shit, Mama, I didn't hear you call my name, Mama. Here you go. So my mama used to work out. She said works out. So she had like a weight belt.
Oh.
Like the one that you use when you squatting.
Yikes.
So she accused me of like ignoring her.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know like shit. Man, no, you know what? I know what was playing. It was Rugrats. Rugrats was playing. And so I didn't ignore my mom. But anyway, I got a whipping for ignoring my mama because she believed that I didn't hear her actually calling my name.
Yeah. And
which I really didn't. I was so glued anyway. Alright, Mama, I still love you, but you know, after all these years, after 26 years, I'm not lying about this. Okay, not 26 years, maybe. Okay, maybe 15 years. Alright, y'all. So, with that being said, right, I find these memories of getting whippings. McLovin, all right, you questioned when we were like coming up with like, all right, what are we gonna talk about this show? Man, you posed a great question. Do we view black children's behavior and expectation from a white supremacy point of view? All right, so I think it's only right that you kind of explain exactly what that perspective looks like.
The way we gotta look at things, man. Do what we as black people, do our punishments reflect the white supremacy that we went through back in the day? And what I mean by that is, you better do what I say, or I'm gonna whoop you.
Or just that
or that fear-based mentality, or that whipping instead of using your hand. For example, slaves were whipped in order to stay in line, which goes back to why Kanye said slavery was a choice. These people were whipped and beat to make sure that they confide into what needs to be right for the white people. And we take that and put it into the black culture. As a child, I was whipped, I was beat because I did wrong. And to my mom, she thought it was wrong and she whipped me in hopes that I would never do it again. Comparing the black family to the white family, and I'm just generalizing. I'm not speaking for every
stereotype,
right?
Stereotype.
But you know, we used to always make fun of the white family who puts Timmy in a corner, where and we should whip Justin because he's doing wrong. White people don't whoop, or majority of white people don't whoop their kids the way that black people with their kids, and if it do, it's with the hand. It's never with a switch or a belt or an object, because that's a whipping now.
Or a slap in the face.
Yeah. When you think about it, like using an object in a way, it can be dehumanizing.
It's a whipping.
Yeah.
Slave, depending on what account that you did, you got a certain amount of whips. You ran away, you get 50 whips, lashes. If you found out you know how to read, you get a number of whips and lashes, or you get something cut off. These are things that we have taken on in the black community in remembrance of slavery, because and I want you to source or tell them what you was telling us earlier about the African culture back in the.
All right, so I did further research on this topic, and I found that based off of the article Corporal Punishment in Black Communities, Not an Intrinstic Cultural Tradition but Racial Trauma by Dr. Stacy Patton. West Africans believed that children came from the afterlife, that they were gods, and basically that we should not do any type of harm doing to them because of the good in the community that they could provide. And it was believed that hitting a child could scare off their soul because of who they came into in the world. On the opposite side, Europeans brutalized their own children for thousands of years prior to crossing the Atlantic to the New World and colonizing Africa. So they believed that there was evidence and ritualistic forms of physical discipline of children existed in their pre-colonial West African societies prior to the Atlantic slave trade. So when I did my research on this based off of this one article, I found it very interesting that the roles have kind of switched. And I'm not Caucasian by any means, of course. I've never been raised by a Caucasian household. But from the outside looking in, coming from a predominantly black neighborhood, then moving to a predominantly white neighborhood, I can say from experience and looking from the outside looking in, the discipline has definitely been different. And I feel like based off of this article, the roles have switched.
Yeah, I mean the white culture has brought into slavery, which what I was telling you all earlier, Hammurabi's code, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. These are rules that was done in the European culture. You stole something, boom, we're gonna chop your hand off as poetic justice. You know what I mean? And that has spewed over into slavery, which also have now spewed over into the black community. Because they understand this is how you keep people in order. If I want you to do something, all I have to do is whip you. Because I guarantee you, there was plenty of slaves.
But
there were more slaves than slave masters.
But can you say, really quickly, that ass whooping did not teach you a lesson?
Absolutely. I
that
do
would
have
have
to do it
been
again.
taught that lesson if you did not receive an ass whooping.
So there are pros and cons to that, and I definitely understand.
See, an ass whooping taught me a lesson, but get my feelings hurt,
That's
taught me more too.
But it
you don't
reminded
have to touch me for me to learn.
It reminded you of the pain. Like, damn, I did this, and this what came about.
That is
a slave mentality.
See, but with a whipping though, I'm only gonna think, well, let me think of something slicker for you to not for you to not catch me, and for me to still do what I want to do. But if you're able to hurt my feelings,
I was the opposite. You give me a good one, I was done.
I ran away. You whipped me. Boom. I'm still a slave.
But let's identify the difference too. Let's not negate or forget to mention that. And I think all of us sitting here, we may be kind of privileged enough to share this commonality. Right? When your parents, okay, let's start with this. McLovin, you still love your mama even though she whipped that ass?
Yup.
Mary Jane, you still love your mom and daddy even though they whipped that ass?
Then their grandparents, of course.
Kendra, you still love them though they may help. You know. So one thing, let's not negate that relationship building piece, that understanding that, hey, you're whipping me. And you're telling me, like, you know, I mean, shit, you see it in the movies all the time. Yo, this is going to hurt me more than it hurts you. You hear comedians refer to it all the time. So let's not, like, negate that there's also a part of that conversation that's like, yo, I'm doing this. I think it was very much understood. Because what do most babies do? They get a whipping, then they run to the mama, and they try to embrace love. Or they go to them from comfort, even though this is the same mama that just whip your ass. So there's a part of that that's also a relationship building piece and an understanding that, yes, you holding yourself accountable. I did wrong. And you are teaching me, you are whipping me because you love me. Now, I'm not saying that was the most effective approach because when I got a whipping for lying, it does not mean that I didn't lie again. Because I did. And I'm still lying to this day.
But isn't that how Christianity came about in the black community? They were that was instilled in them the turn of the cheek and all those things through whippings. Because let's be real, Africans weren't Christians. And when they became slaves and when slavery came, that's when they started throwing the Christianity on them.
To respect their masters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, you not monotheism, and now you coming into this new world. And now I want you to be monotheism, and I want you to believe in what I believe in. And what do you think I did in order for you to do that? I whipped you. And then now I whipped you. Then now you bringing up the kids and letting them know, hey, look, you have to abide by this. Because if you don't, you're going to get whooped.
A form of submission, really.
That's exactly what that is.
I mean, I get that, and I'm not saying that I disagree. But one thing I do want to add to that is that make no mistake, regardless, taking religion out of the picture, right?
Absolutely.
And which, I mean, you know, you mentioned it, so it's fine. But I think, make no mistake, I think forgiveness and turning the other cheek is for the betterment of the victim.
Right.
Right? When you forgive somebody, you're not forgiving them for them so they'll feel better.
You're
forgiving for yourself.
Absolutely.
So regardless of the way in which slaves had to adopt this Christianic belief, it's still, I think, you know, regardless of if, you know, you're somebody that practices religion, for peace of mind, for your sanity, for your personal, for your mental, physical health, you have to forgive. And you have to adopt an ideology that says, hey, I'm going to turn the other cheek. I'm not going to match fire with fire. Because in the end, you're just creating a greater fire. Well, unless you live in California, and they do actually.
Wow.
Wow. No, but, you know, so, and y'all, we good. I know y'all don't know how this works, but we got an extra 15 minutes. So we worked it out. Shout out to Gil over here, the producer. Soundboard. So we good. So I think we got about 15 minutes. Is that right, Gil? 15? Okay, cool. All right. So yeah, man. I guess. So though I agree with you, McLovin, I'm still saying that regardless of if Christianity was forced on slaves, there's still a part of our personal being and mental health, physical health that has to adopt an ideology of turning the other cheek and forgiving. Because if not, it's just bitterness.
And let me say this. We're not going to jump to this religion part because that's going to be one of our next topics. So we're going to close it out on that part.
Well, we don't have to close it out.
Well, we're not close it out, but the religion part, because I don't want to spill over in 2 hours. Hey, y'all, what's up, man? You got that pizza for me, man? Okay.
Hey, come say hey. Come say hey.
Nah,
she's running. She's like, no, I don't want to.
Look on there.
Okay.
You know you're from Memphis.
I'm just kidding.
So now, what do you consider taking it too far when it comes to whipping? Like, it's a thin line between like just punishing somebody and just a child abuse. Now, my mom, who raised 8 children alone, shout out to
bless her.
In a 3-bedroom house, she had her own room, so it was 2 bedrooms. We ain't gonna talk about that.
Girls versus boys.
Yeah.
In their rooms, I can understand.
And
that's
it
how it
was
has to
5
go.
boys in one.
That
room.
works even with 3 kids. Me and my sister had to share a bedroom, and my brother had his own.
Yeah. But
I feel like that works.
But they didn't beat ass. She didn't whoop us.
That even sound like a savage.
She is. Shout out to Lamont Guard in the building. But is there is it such thing as taking it too far?
I think too far comes to like bruises. That energy too. Like I was saying the other day, I feel like certain kids respond differently.
Definitely.
So for me, my parents knew that a whooping was enough. All right. I mean, in certain occasions, it depended on the situation. You beat me once, not beat, because that's so harsh. But you gave me a nice whooping once. I'm good. I learned my lesson. But for some of my other siblings, like, if you have to repeatedly do it, it ain't working.
Right.
Also, if you're bruising the child, you don't need to keep going. I easily bruise, so I don't really know where mine came from. But I feel like if you see physical bruises on child based off of how everything is going right now with, people taking kids away from their parents, you gotta stay away from that kind of story. That's the scary part about it.
But are you about to ask
something? I was definitely gonna say, depending on, I don't want to say the weapon of choice, but the object of choice, that definitely plays a part. And then I'm kind of like what you're saying, depending on the soul of that child. Because you didn't have to touch me for me to learn. All you had to do was yell at me, and it's like, okay, that hurt my feelings enough. I know. But for people who just are more, I guess, hard-headed and just want to do what they want, you may need a little more attention.
I did need that as a beat.
But it's the how that matters, and that's really it.
Yeah, and speaking to the how, I think that attributes to I think oftentimes if you're talking about that thin line between abuse and just, kind of tough love, right? There needs to be an understanding of not only purpose. Man, I lost my train of thought. But I think it goes back to that relationship building piece.
And you need to communicate to your child.
Yeah, and communicate. And I think a lot of parents, specifically a lot of us in here, and even Kendra has worked in education. I don't know if I told y'all that. But I've had students who, behavior-wise, they were terrible. And I hate using the phrase bad kid. I don't like to refer to anybody as bad kid, but let's just say there were a lot of challenged students that I've had, But these are the same ones whose parents were whipping their ass if they got out of line.
Yeah.
But I think oftentimes we lack the tools of understanding that, like a beating or physical abuse does not equate to somebody, or that's not going to teach somebody necessarily a lesson. So I think sometimes we're often lacking the tools of how to discipline our kids, how to be parents. You know what I'm saying? As I hear a lot of like the OGs say, babies having babies these days. Yeah. Or you got grandma, you got older folks having to take care of kids, and they tired.
Yeah.
They don't know how to do. They don't know how to connect with this younger generation. Yeah. That's or we may have had grandpa that didn't know how to connect with us, discipline wise.
Yeah, and that's
know. So yeah, I think like I said, man, that relationship building piece. Why am I whipping you? Are you interpreting my whipping as like, I'm just beating you because I'm frustrated, I'm mad about work, or are you understanding that this whipping is not to permanently damage you, but it's more so to give you what I'm saying, like a consequence for your action.
Yeah. My thing is this: can a whooping be without a whip though? Yeah. Can we as and now me being a father. So I look at things completely different now. Can I discipline and whoop my child not with no whip object, but just with my hand? And because I feel like this whipping is more symbolic of slavery rather than just, discipline. Because you can discipline somebody like, stop doing that.
Yeah. Okay, look. No. Realistically, are you gonna do this?
It's not a tap, but because I ain't gonna beat his ass. I know it's wrong.
But I'm just saying. So where I'm getting at is,
why can't we use our hand?
Not using an object plays a huge difference, but still using your hand still associates with whooping. In my opinion, it does. It depends on how hard you come, because I feel like you're still going to be emotionally traumatized from being hit at the end of the day.
I just feel like...
But yeah, you shouldn't use other objects, but I don't think your hand makes too much of a difference. And I'm not saying that you should not give whoopings, because if we ever close out with this question, I don't know the fine line, but I feel like the hand does just as much.
And then I'm gonna challenge this thought too.
You don't
always have to hit or use an object. The tone of your voice
can determine.
Like when your daddy put that bass in
your daddy though. What about your mama?
My mama don't play either.
Okay.
She used to do like this thing where she'll like bite her jaws. I'm like, all right, do not play with her right now because I know she's serious. So like your tone of voice and your body language, that can definitely determine like how serious you are about this situation. So like I said, with me, you didn't have to touch me. I knew just off your demeanor, how you talking to me alone, where okay, I actually need to take heed to what they're saying because they may actually spring off on me, and I don't really want that. Yeah. So definitely that too.
So let's just go around the table real quick.
Amen.
So are you for whippings or not for whippings?
I want to say I'm here for both. For extreme measures, I see why a whooping is needed. But if it's not that extreme of a situation, then no, I'm not going to hit or touch my child.
I like to say that you should make adjustments where needed.
Yes, definitely.
Depending on who the child is, depending on what your beliefs are, and depending on what beliefs that you have in raising kids. But my kids gonna get their ass beat.
I feel like there has to be purpose behind the win. I'm challenged. Yeah, I'm challenged. And you enlightened me on this, but I never thought that. Like, once I do have children, am I going to use a belt? What, though we talk about, there's often a conversation of like systematic oppression, all these things, or a vicious cycle of things. Am I reinforcing, or am I continuing a vicious cycle of oppression, or kind of like this ineffective way of discipline? So I would say that I will be very intentional about relationship building. So if I do, because I really don't know what I would do, because I don't, you know what I'm saying, I'm not in that position yet. When I do have a child, I will just make sure that the relationship building piece is there, and that if I do decide, you know what I'm saying, tear that ass up, you know what I'm saying, you act up, it's gonna be, you're still gonna know that, I love you regardless, and I love you at the end of this. However, you just gotta know this is something you can't do, because though I'm whipping you, it's a world out here that's gonna be even more, you know what I'm saying, that's going to be even more tough on you based on wrong decisions that you make, right? You caught with a little ounce bag, I'm sentencing you to years of imprisonment.
5 years.
You know what I'm saying? Over a little weed you got. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's how I feel about that.
I mean, now that you put it that way.
How can you say anything after?
But, you know, I'm not going to use the term whipping. Discipline.
You do have to change the narrative.
I'm going to discipline my son. Yeah. And that's not always going to be, you know, a physical. You know, we're living in an age where, and you take these folks' phones, you know, that kills me. I remember my mom used to tell me not to go outside. I'd rather take I would rather
that's
take
what kids is playing outside.
Right. I would rather take a beating and be able to still go outside.
I don't know. My little sister had her phone taken away from her so many times. It didn't work.
Right. I understand that. And once again, that we got to change a different method.
It depends on the child.
But I'm a firm believer of discipline, and I'm going to discipline my son. I'm not necessarily going to use whipping, you know, of my son. We're going to square up, though. When he gets like 14, 16.
I was about to say,
definitely 16.
16. Because I feel like there's an age where you feel like you can fold your parents up. No.
Can I end with, for a man, the discipline is definitely different, absolutely. I think. So you can very well say, I'm going to do this. You can have this talk with your son, and it works. For the mother, I don't know if that really stands that well. It depends on the mother. Nadine could have gave you a good ass whooping work. Miss Mary Jane, I might have to give my child an ass whooping, and that's what's gonna work.
Yeah. No, my mama beat the dog shit out of me, so shout out to Nadine.
Yeah. Did you want to add one more thing, Kendra?
No.
You sure?
No, Nadine the Savage over there.
So, y'all, before we wrap up, because we're about to go into the Dear Millennials open letter, y'all, thank you for following us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everything. We posted a question that said, what did you do back in the day that resulted in getting an ass whipping? I'm just going to read a couple of responses. One said, shout out to Said the State, LOL, everything under the sun. You name it, I damn near did it. VG the exec, big bro, what's up? Came in after the street lights came on. Yeah, when kids were.
I remember that.
Yeah, caught watching TV after being told no TV. Did y'all turn the TV down real low?
Yeah.
E. Kendall is poison. Bad attitude. Hey, it's Sarai, OPP sister. Just stay doing stupid shit because I was a curious kid. Curiosity whipped the child. Kiasha Christian, my effing mouth is too smart. Woo, child. Yeah, I get it. She does. What's up, Kiasha? I rode my bike to my friend's house. This is D. Harrison. I rode my bike across town to my friend's house. My parents said that I could have been kidnapped. Why are you going across town on a bike, Doc? Alright, so yeah, man, thank y'all for tuning in. Dear Millennials, a Lit Ass Podcast. As we close out, y'all, we just want to leave you with a couple of words of affirmation. Dear Millennials.
Right there.
No, you make me nervous. Alright, dear Millennials, when life hands you limes, make lime margarine. And that's all I got to say. When life hands you limes, make lime margarine. So sometimes you have to take this lime and you have to mix it.
Mix that shit.
And you have to create this mixture of a lot of different things, because life. Damn! Now I was going with this. Alright, y'all keep your head up in the words of Tupac.
Tupac!
Yeah.
Love that man.
Tupac is bad.
Man, if Tupac was still
But nah, for real, when life hands you limes, when life hands you limes, make lime margaritas. Interpret that how you want to. I am Marvin Frank, singer-songwriter, educated student to the game, homie, lover, friend. I'm on boy, make love, man. Mama, I love you. Daddy, I love you. My sister, Courtney Leah, and my nephew, Cam. What up, my god sister, McKinsey? Okay.
Yeah, it's your boy McLovin. Got this chick straight out the oven. Educated, motivated, dark skin, drinking hand, teaching, preaching. Got you down, laughing, calling me. Follow me on Instagram, McLovin_IT. Baby McLovin, I love you. I'm going to the Bahamas. So y'all make sure that y'all check out our Instagram page to see all this muscle. You know what I'm saying? Your boy been working out in the gym, you know what I'm saying? Bitch pressing 10 pounds, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, y'all check it out.
Alright, his time is up. Alright, you got Mary Jane, Georgia Ray's Memphis Hey, book club creator, the woman storyteller, and your favorite around the way girl. You can follow me on the.realmaryjane. I promise you it's lit. And yeah.
It is.
To my love, lit.
And yo, shout out to Kendra. Thank you for joining us. My sister boo, y'all. Kendra, what's up? Take them out.
Definitely. Of course, again, I'm Kendra, the proud Gemini, food enthusiast, mindful thinking advocate, crystal loving badass. And you can follow my creative page at Kendo__slice. And then any catering and food prep inquiries, you can follow me there too at food__avenue.
Can I have that crystal?
Definitely, I got you on the amethyst. I got you.
Yo, thank y'all for tuning in. Before we go, we just want to say have a lit week.
Oh, I was going to say Kanye.
That's who. Oh, Google Forms. All right, DM us. You want to say?